As a boy, I had a million dreams, most of them centered around cars and women. Today, I'm in Italy, home of some of the most gorgeous women in the world, home of some of the most gorgeous supercars in the world. That's the Ferrari California, Ferrari's latest convertible. And I'm at Fiorano, home of Michael Schumacher. That is Enzo Ferrari's old home. And today, we'll be testing this car on the track. Of course, we'll have to wait until that other secret Ferrari finishes testing. I can't tell you more about that car, but I can tell you more about this. In the days gone by, one look at a red Ferrari would make you cry, but those days of visual hyperdrama are gone. On the way to Italy, I'd convinced myself that the styling of the California is just fussy, with contrived flanks and a bum that is just plain fat. But here in Fiorano, especially with the top down and in red, I can't find it in myself to criticize this car. It's certainly no Sophia Loren, but if you look closely, you may find a touch of Monica Bellucci. As you can see, the weather's turning foul, so before we go, we'll have to get the roof up. And as with everything that Ferrari does, roof down to roof up takes only 14 seconds. It's the fastest retractable hardtop in the world. The 4.3-litre V8 engine is closely related to the one in the F430, but with a higher compression ratio, wider bore and shorter stroke, and here it gets direct fuel injection. And to make sure it feels like a proper Ferrari, it gets a race-style flat plane crank and a glorious engine note. Rev it to an 8000 RPM redline and the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Even though the California is down by 40 horsepower compared to the F430, she takes just 4 seconds to get to 100, and she has a top speed of 310 kmph. The acceleration is mainly down to launch control and the amazing shift times of the twin-clutch gearbox. At a Kerb weight of 1,735 kilos, she's a whole 200 kilos heavier than an F430. But the front-mounted V8 is cranked back against the bulkhead, effectively making this front mid-engine. Combine that with the rear-mounted 7-speed transaxle and it makes for a 4753 weight distribution. Proper supercar stuff that. And the engine sounds magnificent. Part howl, part growl, a proper racing engine for the road. And the throttle responsiveness is amazing. It's like a motorcycle engine. You rev it and it goes bap, 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 bap. It's a character only the best free-flowing engines can deliver. So far, so good then. At home, at Fiorano, the California is a rock star. But how good is she at the grand touring stuff? Time then to head to the hills around Maranello on the same route used by Ferrari's test drivers. On the steering wheel, the Manettino switch has 3 modes. Comfort, that's for wimps. CST off is for heroes. We'll keep it in sport mode. What that does is sharpens the throttle responses, the gears hold on to revs longer, the suspension becomes stiffer, and with the ESP system, it gives you a little more leeway to play around with the rear. You start the engine using the engine start button, and then the twin clutch gearbox defaults into automatic. That's not what we want manual control. For sure, outright grip isn't in the same league as the F430, but the California feels amazingly balanced and much easier to drive fast. The steering and the seat of the pants feel is awesome, and it gives you the confidence to throw it into corners. There's slight body roll and a little understeer, but that's easily killed on the brakes. And the F1 track electronic differential developed in Formula 1 enables it to fire out of corners 20% faster than conventional limited slip differentials. Now I know it's boring talking about gearboxes, but this gearbox is so good, it demands things be said about it. The shift is instantaneous, it's jerk-free. In Ferrari's normal F1 super fast gearbox, you feel that bam, every time a gear shifted at full revs. But here, there's nothing. Ferrari doesn't even quote a gear change time. Since the next gear is always engaged, the shift in theory happens instantaneously. If there was a pause, I didn't notice it. Another departure for Ferrari is the suspension. The California ditches traditional double wishbone for a multi-link rear suspension for better ride quality while maintaining the very high handling standards. It works wonderfully at speed, with the California feeling both comfortable and extremely stable. To be honest, I was nervous before driving the California. After all, this is a car that Ferrari hopes more women will buy, and I was scared that it had gone all soft. I needn't have been. This truly is a great Gran Turismo, a car of tremendous pedigree and tremendous potential. It's fast, beautifully balanced, brilliant to drive. It can play a drop top to sun worshippers, but it can post a fast lap time at Fiorano. Ferrari says that not many customers would actually take this car out on the racetrack. I say, what a shame.